Cereal last time. I'm always a cereal person. My next door neighbor was a banker, and I just thought it was the neatest thing. I saw him out in the community all the time and had that personal contact, and then also could have fun and enjoy their position at their office. And so I knew at that point in time I wanted to follow in her footsteps, and was very thankful for having so many role models when I was very young that all confirmed that that was what I wanted to do. I've known since I was about 14 that I wanted to be a banker. Melisa Henley, and I'm the Retail Managing Officer of MidWestOne Bank in North Liberty. My professional life would be considered managing an office of a bank with staff and a loan officer. I open new accounts, IRAs, and I'm very involved in the community, so oftentimes a typical day involves some type of community outreach or volunteering. I am currently the 2010 chair of the North Liberty Steering Committee. It's a break off from the Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce, and then I'm also a Friends of the North Liberty Library board member. I really enjoy the people, I really enjoy the staff that I work with, and I really enjoy having the opportunity to be out in the community, visible, and get to meet people and have an impact on not only North Liberty but the Iowa City area. And I'm thankful that my career has that as something that is also important and allows me to do that. It's important because I'm not only work in North Liberty, but I'm also a resident, and I see the impact that community involvement and community outreach has on our growing area. And if there's a role that I can participate in helping and grow the community and have more people involved and really take pride in where they live and work, I love to be a part of that, and I'm really happy that I have the chance to be a part of it as well. I really have had the opportunity with the bank to be a part of these boards. I'm also an ambassador for the chamber, and so that gives me the opportunity to go outside of North Liberty and tell people what our town has to offer. And with the bank, I participate in these community involvement, but I also do some volunteer work just on my own outside of the working day, weekends and evenings as well. And I've done that for quite a long time, and think that it's important to kind of balance your life with that type of programs and involvement. I'd really like to see just more people to be involved. I feel like North Liberty sometimes is kind of a commuting type town where people stay here in the evenings, but then they commute during the day to work in Cedar Rapids or Iowa City, and really not paying attention to what we have to offer here in town, and just really having more people recognize all the amenities that we have and opportunities. And I'd really like to see the North Liberty Library is working on an expansion project, and I'd really like to see that get off the ground and have some progress. And there's so many residents that take part of it that we'd like to continue to have programs and offering these type of amenities for our residents. I grew up just south of Iowa City, and still in the Iowa City Community School District, so I went to high school in Iowa City and went to college in Iowa City at the University of Iowa, graduated from there, and moved to North Liberty about 7-8 years ago. And so I've always been a Johnson County resident and very proud of and work and live here, and my family is all from here, and I have no reason to leave. We used to work together when I was in high school and stayed in touch and been together ever since. So his name is Rick. No, he's from Cedar County, but just not too far, about half an hour away from here. He grew up in Tipton, Iowa, and so his family's all around here and all relocated to Cedar Rapids. So being in North Liberty, we're kind of best of both worlds, not too far from Cedar Rapids and not too far from my family by Iowa City. We've been together for about 10 years and married for 4 years, and very thankful for everything that we have. I think just going on trips with my family. I have one younger brother. I'm about 6 years older than him, so I've always been kind of his big sister, his protector, and really showing him some of the neat things that we can do as a family and as a group. And I'd say just a trip out camping for 2 weeks and out west was really fun, and really lots of sightseeing and just really family bonding, and I've always remembered that trip. Went to Wyoming, we went to Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore, and just drove through all the western states and camping at little places here and there, and it was a really long but neat, informative trip. We could sit by the fire and laugh and have fun, and it was just kind of away from home, something that we're always so busy. My parents were always working or doing involvement in something, so to kind of come together, and there was no other outside sources that were going to draw us away, so it was just really fun to spend that time. I'm working on my MBA, my master's program. That's been a personal goal of mine. It wasn't a requirement by any means, but I just would really aspire to continue to my education and learn and continually learn, whether it's through formal education or community education, and encouraging others to be more informed and more involved and have an impact on the community. I used to dance. I started dancing when I was 3 years old and did that through when I was in high school, and left dancing to go do some sports, and then that was when I met my husband, so that kind of took me away from all my school activities. But I was in band, and I did a lot of clubs when I was in high school. I was the drum major for West High. I got to lead the large band there through all the football games, and we actually took a trip to Florida and got to lead the band down Main Street, USA, and Disney World, so that was kind of a neat experience. But did a lot of things, lots of clubs, and I was very fortunate to be a leader in a lot of these clubs as well, which I think prepared me for being in charge or in helping in some way through various community involvement or activities, and helped even prepare me for the chair position here at the North Liberty Chamber. I'd say scrapbooking would be a hobby. I scrapbook my trips that I go on. So the trip that my family took to Wyoming was my first one, and I scrapbooked. I had an opportunity to go to Spain when I was in high school. I was in a Spanish class, and we got to go there, and the pictures and the different things that I picked up along the way, even little advertisements or packages that had Spanish, I saved. And then my husband and I went to Italy and Switzerland for our honeymoon, and so that one is my most recent scrapbook that I really pride myself on, and hard work and lots of hours and time, but it's a great memory to be able to look back on. Oh, it takes a long time. It depends on how many pictures I have, because I put every picture in and usually put a little story with it, or where you're at, or if it's a historical building or church or something like that that I've taken a picture of, I do some research on it, so I'll always remember why that picture was important and the impact that it had on the community that it was in. Or my Italy honeymoon trip has taken me about 2 years, so I put it away and then I'll get it back out. So throughout that time, it's taken a couple years. No, it's very organized. It's by the day we leave to the day we get back. So it starts with the plane tickets, if we have plane tickets, and the pictures as they progressed. So I'll always remember, okay, this was my first day, and this was our second day, and kind of grouping things together. So, and the day that we went on the restaurant, I'd have to go back to look at receipts to know, okay, this on day 12 was the day we went to this place. So I like the progression of throughout the trip and the memories that took place. I will save everything from our trip that's within sanitary reasoning. I mean, candy packages, or I saved a pop can that was in Italian, and one from when I was in Spain as well. Money, little coins, and different packaging, postcards and bags from stores, but what's neat about it is that it says where the store is or where that was from, or in a different language, so something I wouldn't normally see. I bring a pretty big purse, so I just kind of save it and dump it each night at the hotel and start out for a new day, and try to cram it back into my already overstuffed suitcase when we try to go home. So. It would be pizza. I love pizza, and pretty much any kind I'll eat, but my favorite is Godfather's combo. I'd eat that all day, every day. It would be Batman, no questions asked. I've always loved Batman.
Why?
It was, I think it's the 80s Batman. It's not the newer Batman, and it's not from more of the TV show, but it's the Michael Keaton original Batman movie, and I just really enjoy kind of the mystery and the suspense and everything that goes along with it. And then I kind of didn't like the Batmans that had all the different actors. We had Val Kilmer and George Clooney and a couple other people. But now they've started with a new trend, which is, I'm starting to like those as well. But have to revert back to my original Michael Keaton Batman. Too many to choose. I like some of the old classics. Probably one of my favorites is Wizard of Oz, and that I could recite that entire movie if somebody ever put the challenge up to me. I like some of those old classics, but then there's just so many. I could say, oh, that's my favorite movie, and then I'll see something else, and that's my favorite movie too. So. In the past, I wouldn't have been a reality TV fan, but now I don't have quite as much time to watch TV. DVR is a very good invention, and I would say that all my DVR events now are all reality shows. So American Idol and The Bachelor, and if I watch the first one, I'm pretty much hooked, and I have to see the outcome. So even if I'm not enjoying it, or in the case of American Idol and don't have a fan, I'm hooked till the end. I would say English or writing. I really enjoy writing and have been fairly good at just really able to write about pretty much anything, and it's kind of a comfort for me just in relaxing to kind of write about my life or experiences or aspirations or goals, and I always seem to do well in that class. So that was probably another reason why it was my favorite. I like just to go on walks, so I don't have a place, but just the community feel, the sidewalks, the town, the houses, and people out with their dogs and the bikes and the kids, and really just saying hi to your neighbors when you walk by, and not be so closed up. So I like to be outside. Automobile, for sure. You could classify me as scared of flying. I will do it, don't enjoy it, get pretty nervous, and sometimes don't feel the best, but I would say automobile 100%. Food, water, and toothbrush. Because I figured if I'm going to be exiled there, I'm going to be there forever and need to survive. I wouldn't say something like a cell phone or something like that, because while it'd be nice to stay in touch, if the purpose was to survive, I'd say that would be more practical. It's a really good question. That's probably my biggest fear, is for my home to catch on fire with my dog inside. So because my family and animal is safe, I would say probably, I don't know. I'd probably say I have a wedding box, and it has all of the pictures and trinkets, and in there is our wedding, our honeymoon scrapbook that I've spent 2 years on doing. So I would probably grab that, because things are just things, and they can always be replaced, but memories like that are a little bit more something that I hold dear and would rather save, because they wouldn't be able to be replaced. I remember going to a Christmas party when I was about 2 or 3 years old with my family, and got home and Santa Claus was in our house. And I think it was pretty scary but interesting at the same time, and it was really made me wonder why and how he got in and all this good stuff. But I remember being so happy, and it was a neat memory.
Did you guys have a chimney?
We didn't. That was why, and I don't know why at that age that I don't think I worried about it then, but looking back as being one of my earliest and favorite memories, that tried to analyze the situation a little bit more. But he came in the front door is what I was told. And it was a woman, actually. It was our neighbor. And at the time she was probably in high school, and so looking back on it, she was really excited to kind of be in part of that memory of mine. And even seeing her today, we will joke that she was my Santa Claus. Email, for sure. And I don't like to spend my entire day with it, but it's a good way to communicate. For informal communication, I'm a very big fan of talking on the phone or in-person contact. I think that's important for developing staff and with customers as well. But email is kind of a way for me to sort my activities or sort my day or notes or things that I need to do. And it's also a very good way for discreetly communicating with individuals too. If a staff member has a question or needs help, rather than excusing themselves, they can just pop up a question and I can answer back. My husband and my dog. I could go with no TV, I could go with no other activities, but just I like to spend my time outside, and we go on walks and play in the yard with the dog. And her name is Lucy, and she's a German short hair pointer, very active dog. We got her when she was a puppy. I actually saw her mother while she was pregnant and saw her when she was a day old, and got to pet her when she fit into the palm of my hand, and got her when she was ready to come home. And it's definitely been my baby, I guess. I would just say that I'm very committed to our community. I think it's important to support and be active and encourage others to be that way as well. And I think being a resident and a professional working in town, that if I can contribute in any way to make the town even better than it already is, or perhaps bring somebody in that wouldn't know something about North Liberty that I could show them, I'd be really happy to do that.